There are a number of issues which are very critical for the higher educations. But out of these issues that are faced by the universities, one of the important one is the ability to see what are the trends, what are the future scenarios of higher educations. So with that regards, we thought that at AKEPT, these are the kind of skills or competencies that need to be equipped with the university leaders. So they need to be able to talk about the scenario, they need to be able to foresee the scenario, they need to be able to get involved a different kind of scenarios debate of the roles and the function of university educations. For the previous statement that I have given, I guess the university leaders need to be equipped with certain competencies. The competencies would include their ability to use a different kind of skills in order to develop their own scenarios in their context, and also the ability to relate and also connect the current issues of educations, prospecting what would be the likely scenarios of education in the future. So these skills are not easily equipped unless they go through certain training. So that is the purpose of this training that we lay down for the highest level of universities and also for the dean's level, the so-called the group of university leaders of the institutions. Specifically, the objective of this workshop, which we run through 2 stages, is to develop the scenarios in our context, reflecting the global trend. So we thought that by dividing the group into 2 groups, you will provide continuity, meaning that the first group that are regarded as the second layers of the university leaders will develop the scenarios, and then they will pass the scenarios developed to the more senior level, so that they are able to see the feasibility of these scenarios. So the objective is that we would like to have a bigger mass or a bigger pool of university leaders or potential leaders who have the skills, who have the knowledge, who have the training background on applying or prospecting the future scenarios of higher educations. Being the only higher education leadership academy, we strongly believe that investing and putting aside, allocating serious structure, training program, capacity development program on the talent pool or the potential leaders is very critical, because we see that we might be having a different kind of perspective on higher education issues, and we might have a gap between these generations, the previous generations, and the future generations. We need to provide a pool who can bridge the gaps, a pool of talent who can understand what are the likely issues of education in the future, not forgetting what are the current issues. So we thought that it has to be a serious investment, it has to be a serious structured program in developing this talent pool of potential university leaders. But we are not forgetting about the incumbent leader. They need to be given awareness, they need to be exposed to current issues as well. At AKEPT, we have collaborated with a number of training providers. We've worked with a number of prestigious training institutions, business school in the country and outside the country as well. Without naming specific institutions, I guess these are so-called institutions which establish background on training. But then we realized that at the end of the day, there is something that need to be very localized, that need to be very contextualized. And we thought that component is very close to us, something that is embedded in our in our heart. And we thought there is a soul related capacity development program. So that is why we are suggesting we want to mainstream the advocacy of soul-driven leadership, because at the end of the day, there can be a different kind of a variety of concept in promoting leadership. But what we want from this advocacy, from these promotions of this soul-driven leadership, is that a kind of leadership that will make heart, mind, and thinking as their core concept of leadership development. When we started this future thinking program workshop with Prof. Sohail 3 years back, we don't see that much of the impact. But now we realize that unless and until we are able to elevate the discourse of these higher education issues to a different level, we will not be able to find a different kind of refreshing solution. So we thought by picking up the topic of future scenarios of higher education, we can give a different dimension to the discourse of the functions and role of universities. So that is why we pick the issues, and we want to document it so that when we want to push for a different kind of perspective on education, we can move forward with the agenda that was discussed in the workshop. What are the possible solutions? What are the scenarios in the context of Malaysian perspective? We have seen stronger interest in this approach of future studies and future scenarios of education since the last time that we introduced this workshop 3 years back. So our next plan is that to further mainstream this, and then now I guess we've got a number of pool or participants who can conduct the training at the university level. So we thought let's utilize this group of people who has been trained in our workshop in AKEPT so that they will run their program in the university. A second level, the next step is that we would like to document the outcome of the discussion, the strategies that was laid down, the scenarios that was developed, to be further pushed to the ministry level so that they will have some input, which is not just a common input, but an input that is digested, that was developed throughout an intensive 3-4 days workshop. So we will inshallah continue to do this kind of workshop, but then we will try to further mainstream it at the other higher education institutions, inclusive of private higher education institutions and also the public university institutions. After 3 years of running this workshop, we do have some sense of what are necessary, what would be the scenarios, and what are the approach that we can do. So we hope that by 2025, AKEPT, in simple word, would be a university whereby it is a university by itself, meaning that the potential leaders for university would come here to be trained, would come here to be exposed to the current issues, then have a number of pool who have gone a series of leadership capacity building program. So we see in short, in 2025, AKEPT is an independent institutions that can run its training program by reflecting the future issues, by reflecting the current issues. We will then be known, we will then be able to call ourselves a training center that is defined by the 3 words that is referred, respected and relevant higher education leadership academy. As part of the exercise, in order to make the participants understand the future scenarios development process, we introduced this, we use the Sarkar game simulation role, whereby there are different interests of people in a scenario, in a crisis, and this group of people representing the usual stakeholders outside there, which is usually the academics, the intellectuals, and the industries, which sometimes can be represented through the capitalists. We also have the interest of the community or the society, which may be the farmers or the workers group. And the other one is the government or the state authority, which represent the final decision-making process. So what happened in this gameplay is there would be a case whereby a group of farmers who represent their interests, which may be suppressed, bring up the issues, and then you will have a different kind of solutions or positions by the other interests. So ultimately the lesson that to be learned from here is that as leaders, you should be able to reconcile a different interest. You should be able to understand a different perspective of stakeholders outside that in reality. So in the context of future scenarios, what needs to be learned from here is that when you design the future scenarios, we have to really represent a different kind of interest. Then only we can design what would be the solution, what would be the decision to be finally implemented. So that is the whole purpose of this Sarkar game exercise. So we hope that you will enjoy seeing the recordings of the Sarkar game.
I'm a worker or a simple peasant. I have individual wants: first, safety, security, food, to be free of my environment. When these are met, I want belief, inspiration, faith, to be free from my suffering and fear of death. When these are met, I want material comfort and wealth, to be free from want, work, discomfort, and struggle. My power is the ability to work hard and chaos, the ability to disrupt. When satisfied, I'm quiet for a while, and then I want and demand more from the system.
Tea break now.
Tea break now.
Workers have tea break.
Workers have tea break.
If the water hits you, you have to fall down.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. We have to fall down. What the
I don't think it hits you. Oh, did it hit you? Oh,
Yeah.
so just injured your leg.
All right.
Oh, that means we have to go to work again. We have to work.
He has the longest tea break.
Misuse.
We are the intellectual. We search for truth. We remove errors. What are the errors here? We use words and speech to convey our ideas and to give knowledge. We value ideas. So we will try to understand your needs, your requirement, and your what you need claim.
Our needs is very simple. We want to have a tea break.
The system said not yet.
Wait. Some of us have knowledge of scientific reality, and some of us have knowledge of spiritual reality, and some of us as well use art, poetry, and story to understand the past and present, so that we understand you better, and then we can provide some enlightenment to provide how we do things, how we should work, and what we value most.
When can we have tea break?
These are all fancy ideas to us. As far as we are concerned, right, we just need food, water, some rest, that's it.
That's why we can provide 3 types of knowledge.
I'm still alive. So I'm still alive.
Okay, we will learn what we are, how we do things, and when is the suitable time to do certain things.
We cannot have a tea.
I know that you have to work, but can we have some timely like you work for a few hours, and then during lunchtime you can have a break, and after that you can continue going back to work.
We have done all, but you see, this is the product.
I know. Even if you have finished, but still you're in the working hours. So that's a possibility that you're not able to go out. So you can do something else. Wait till your tea time comes.
We are also confused. Why they short us? They short us.
Can we barge in so that you know what we're doing actually? We are the warriors. We honor loyalty, courage, and unity. We serve to protect the system from danger and chaos. We bring order where there is none. We enforce the wishes of the system. Our power is the ability to dominate the environment. Only we have the weapons. So
But you don't protect us. You shot us. We were working.
because we bring order. You are very disorderly. I'm sorry.
That's what I say. Because they protect the system, so you have to follow the rules. You have to follow the booking time. So you cannot, violate.
Okay, we come here, come the bank. Okay? We are the capitalists. Okay? We seek to apply ideas to create material growth. We see opportunities to be successful. The more we have, the more power we have. Our power is economy. Only we can create material growth. Now,
We don't care. We are the workers. Okay, give us.
listen to our offer.
If you've been shot with water, can you please go on the ground? I actually just always like
number one.
We are happy already. We got the money.
Listen, you are workers. You know, you probably need more knowledge and more skill. Now, we would sponsor you. We will give you some loan or maybe some sponsorship to go and study at this university, and we pay you more. We pay you more because you are teaching them. And we are telling these people, don't kill people. Go and study more, we'll give you more money. And you get your salary, you know, up and
You are too late. You there already.
So you're not shot and you're not shot. Only two alive. Everyone else, they killed you. Okay, so he's made an offer, right?
Yeah, we all got
Did someone respond to his offer? There's one worker alive, one capitalist alive, and 9 warriors.
Our concern is that they don't need to go to university. They must work until the tea time. So
we are thinking
we are protecting the system.
the offer is a kind of bribery or not. Otherwise it won't get shot.
You're all dead. How can you talk? So you're the only one alive from the capitalists and intellectuals.
Yeah.
How come you haven't shot him? I'm just wondering.
We left
Who are you negotiating for? There's only one worker left.
Kill them.
So any last? So he's made an offer. Any response?
You want better weapon? We'll give you more money.
He's doing his best here.
He offered for us to further our studies. I don't think that's what we need. I don't think he understands our needs. Our needs is to protect the country, to be loyal, and to keep everything in order. And that's what we've been doing. But we spared him because he's a negotiator, so we are interested to know his ideas. But so far, he hasn't offered anything that we like.
So are you going to shoot him?
No, don't shoot at me yet.
After he gave weapon.
See, you won't go anywhere. You don't go anywhere with your weapon. You know, what you need to protect is the intellectual or the people.
See how far
You can kill the people. No, I cannot get near because you kill me. That's why I did this stuff.
I agree.
See, what you need is to protect the intellectual of the people. You know, we can replace property, we can replace, you know, all these worldly matters, but you cannot replace the intellectual. So what we need to do is to help, you know, the worker, empower them with skill and new knowledge. Therefore, they could go better. I mean, they could do the job better and increase productivity. Now, in your case, you need to protect the safety of the people. Okay, because we are not being colonized by enemies, by anyone. Therefore, what you need to do is to make sure, you know, the disorder, you know, is controlled, is maintained, you know, is reduced, but not to kill everyone. People can change. People can change. So, so we have only one worker left.
You will be out of job.
Can we get a whisper from the ghost?
Why not? Why the ghost?
Should learn from the intellectuals.
The intellectual dead. All dead.
That's why we here as a lesson, so that we don't kill everybody, you know, mistakenly. We need to go to the university.
Then put down your weapon.
And then because the chaos started, because you sparked the chaos.
Yeah, our main concern is to keep order, keep things in order.
So,
But intellectuals, we expected intellectuals to deal diplomatically, but there was chaos, so that's our main priority.
So who's going to run the country now?
You.
The army?
That's why we spoke.
The colonel? The lieutenant? It's going to be another regime.
It's a military coup.
Okay, let's stop there. Perfect. Okay, so no one leave. Do people need chairs? You're okay there? Yeah. Okay. So let's just now analyze what happened. Experience as workers. Okay, what was your experience? So the game started with you. What were you doing? Well, and what was the only thing you wanted to do when you finished your table?
Satisfy all needs.
You just wanted to have tea. So the basic thing was tea. Now, when you started to go to have tea, I can't see your name. What's your name? Yusuf. So Yusuf, you decided to do what?
I gave him one shot in front of him. 40?
But it did hit his, okay, so the stray bullet named Lim, Professor Lim? Okay, so he was on the ground, and then what did the rest of you think about what just happened?
He cannot aim, he just shoot people.
Okay. So do you think he acted inappropriately? It was a warning shot, a fair warning shot. If you want to have tea, you have to ask permission. The system has rules, he broke the rule.
Even the military system has to
Has to have rules. Okay. So basically your whole experience was they need to follow the rules. Someone broke the rule, they need to be warned. Okay, and then what happened next? The intellectuals came in, right? And you came in and someone launched a long speech. Who's doing the speech? Where'd she go? There you are. So you decided to read and give a speech, right?
Actually, at first I didn't understand the game, and then after that, we have to do something to try to solve the problem.
That was good. So you said what their needs and what happened. Well, how do they respond?
They said they don't need speech.
You see?
We need tea, we don't need speech.
So the intellectuals came with ideas, and the ideas were shot down, right? They're not interested. So what did you do as intellectuals? Wait a second. You tried to negotiate further, then what happened? They refused to listen. Did you offer them any ways to have tea? So you were unable to find their need, and you're blaming the capitalists. Okay? So the capitalists came in, and what did you do?
Offer money.
Okay. To who? Everyone. That's also a good idea. And how was that received? So there was almost a solution here, right? Then all of you shot everyone. So can you tell us why you shot everyone?
I think basically there was an order within our own system either. That's the way I see it personally, not as a group.
So you weren't...
It wasn't a collective decision to shoot everyone.
So when I did this game last week in Rotterdam with international police, the first thing the FBI guy did, he took one of the other warriors and shot him. I said, why did you do that? He said, I have to clearly establish rules of dominance among warriors. So all the warriors knew FBI was going to run the show today. And then he used that as his way to get order, and then he tried, and eventually it also ended up like this total chaos. So, but all of you shot. Why did you shoot them? They used to, so what did you do when the capitalists came and offered you money? So there was a good thing here. This was positive. So far, that's the only good thing that happened was from the capitalists. So this was positive, and you could make an agreement. They were going to pay you more. Better pay?
He doesn't mind that. We don't have tea as long as you have
Okay. You can have the tea later. At that moment, once you saw them negotiating, you decided to just shoot everyone, right?
I think there's an underlying belief behind this is that once you have the weapon, you are in power and you're just trigger happy.
No, we were protecting the workers because the merchants are actually...
You were protecting your workers?
They are loan sharks. So it's better off than that.
assumptions beneath all this?
So she's confessed that once warriors who aren't used to weapons get weapons, they get triggered happy. You've also confessed, right, that basically you don't trust them. Only one shooting them was you.
From loan shark, from horrible gangs. So we end up faster.
Okay. So you're involved in mercy killing.
As they were discussing, we see something potentially threat to the system. After this, it might be a new way of doing things which will differentiate this thing. So one sees that potential. So the command decided to shut them down.
So this is the key now. Did everyone notice it? If you want to transform the university, if the system sees innovation that's a threat, what will they do? They'll shoot you through budget, they'll shoot you through red tape, they'll find a way to get rid of the innovation. And you saw, they clearly said, here's the rules, do not break them. All they wanted was tea. The tea is, for them, is a metaphor of innovation. They can't handle it. Now the intellectuals, what did you do wrong, intellectuals? Okay, exactly. It was all theories. Not once did the intellectuals say, how can we help you? Right? They just said they're clever, they didn't demonstrate it.
In the first place, why intellectual come to focus? They can also come to the warriors, because I think the warriors is cause a lot of problems.
It seems like everybody is like towards here.
Yeah.
They could have, I don't know, ask them. Why did you?
We talk to everybody.
You see how my face is?
Yeah, we went to everybody.
Okay, this is a big insight. If you want to understand capitalism, capitalism sees everyone as a potential donor. Intellectuals, what's the group intellectuals? Intellectuals don't like anyone, actually. They like themselves. We all, as professors, we want to hear ourselves talk. That's our biggest weakness. The thing we don't like is for them to tell us what to do, and they hate intellectuals, right? So you got rid of them very quickly. The minute they showed up, you want them all dead, right? Just be honest now. They're still even holding their guns. If you notice. Are they protecting, or they're? At least the females let go of them. Protection's overrated. Okay, tell me more. She's asked the fundamental question, who are they protecting? They're not protecting anyone, they're just protecting the rules. So this is what the intellectual should have done. They should say, what is the purpose of the rules? But they didn't ask the purpose question. Right? They just said, I have a theory. So Sarkar's idea is each one has to find their purpose and act it well. But the best thing is to be here. If you can be the leader who knows how to be a worker, who knows how to protect, who knows how to create ideas, and who knows how to use money wisely, Sarkar views this person keeps the cycle into a spiral. Because the spiral is purpose-driven. Here's where we're going. So they move out of their role and say, well, the role of capitalists is to create new wealth for everyone. The role of workers is to make sure the wealth is safe. It's good governance. You're in charge of governance. The role of intellectuals is new ideas for the new purpose. So everyone has a role, but they all get lost. And once they get lost, what do? But it doesn't have to happen that way. I've done this maybe 50, 60, 70 times. Every time it ends differently. You never know.
I think the warrior doesn't have SOP. That's why they need to come. That's why they need to come to the university to the intellectuals to learn what is SOP, what is ISO 9000 before they shoot at people.
Let me ask the warrior, from your view, what he just said, what does it feel like? What do you actually want to do?
We should kill him first.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the only mistake they did.
What we like to see, the workers formally return their request to have tea with some intellectual inputs, tabled in some meeting somewhere, agreed with some board of directors, then you can have it.
They want an SOP around that. But warriors don't like us telling them what's your SOP. And they're still regretting they didn't kill you.
They just take orders. They just take orders.
So in this case, what the conclusion was, the entire system failed, right? Now I've seen this many times where sometimes it succeeds and everyone finds a solution. And sometimes we did it with one health department and the seal was actually there and the game lasted 15 seconds. He just took the gun and just shot it with his You know, and we said, what's going on? And he said, everyone's attacking my hospital all the time. The doctors keep on bothering me. The ministry keeps on bothering me. The nurses bother me. Everyone bothers me. They're always trying to ruin my hospital. I want them all dead. So in his world, everyone's out to get it. So everyone, you can look at these types of power, the roles to figure out what are they. It's funny, each person in this group took some leadership role, right? Among the warriors, who took the leadership role? I think you did, right? What was her name? Yeah, she took the lead. She became the head warrior, right? But then you had your killers behind you. Right? You led her, yeah? You were quite happy. She could do the talking as long as you could do the killing. Now the capitalists, you were divide and conquer, right? They didn't have one leader. Capital just went everywhere. Yeah, spread it around. Did you manage to actually spend some money? That's the biggest weakness among capitalists. Hold. What happens when you hold all the money? It doesn't grow. I ran this with some monks once. And when we did the game, they didn't spend 1 cent. And I said, why? I said, we're not used to spending money. And also intellectuals, the capitalists, you tried to spend money, what happened then? Did anyone take your money?
No, we say we give loan, you know, so either we sponsor them to go to the university or we give loan. The loan means that will get back our money in terms of the interest.
So did anyone take your loan?
No, everybody was okay.
But they did keep one worker.
Yeah.
So why did you keep him? Yeah, exactly. Did you see that? These 4 were always ahead. Rahman was very clever. I watched the entire time. He always stood behind.
They want to take him as a witness.
He's the witness and you're the official prime minister. They're in charge. So what would be a way this could have worked towards success? Anyone? What could each group have done differently? Play safe? Well, okay, that's not what happened.
Negotiate.
Well, what could you have done differently? All they did was ask for tea. That was not a major. You crossed the line.
In a disorderly manner. That's what they did. That's why they punished.
So, does everyone understand university administration now? It doesn't matter what you say, you just have to do it in an orderly manner.
Next time, I think we can record it.
So they're unwilling to say they made a mistake. That's what I'm hearing, right? But no, now you're saying that I said so. So, give me an example how they should have gone for tea. What's an example?
Well, they could have waited for some negotiations, but what we saw was that they were disorderly, and this negotiation was working, and then money was given out from places.
We don't see any sense in this. We have finished our work. Nothing to do now. we don't expect to hang around, so it's time to go for tea.
The rule is you're not allowed to tea yet.
Where is that rule? Where is that rule? Show me the rule.
The rule was that shotgun.
So they wanted you, as university administrators, to apply for tea break, right?
Instead, they shout too loud.
They were very threatening, very intimidating.
It's about change. These people, they want change. They don't want this tea break. Probably they want to extend to other times. So they want change. And the system seems like there is they are afraid of change.
Very strong. I mean, the defense is it was a warning shot.
I think this discussion should have been found because this
So even now they're gonna tell you he's not willing to let go of the warrior.
I mean, it's the same with this clocking in. When I used to go in public university, I had to clock in and clock out.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I don't have to do that.
This is what they're saying. They're saying the core metaphor exactly, clock in, clock out. If you challenge that story, everyone's dead. And the story is so deep, even if they say we're going to be innovative, future-oriented, work 24/7, in effect, the university administration, until they're happy, they're going to make sure it falls apart.
So what we're suggesting we do
I ain't suggesting anything. I know with, I've seen one time we did it, the workers, what they did, they took the chairs and made a barricade. And no one would go through it in the game. Everyone just said, okay, fine. The workers worked and they rested and no one did anything. Once we did it with a group that has very little university intellectual power. They're basically a family daycare system. And you know what the intellectuals did? The warriors shot the workers straight away. And the intellectuals walked in and they counted all the dead people. Then they left this area, they went there, they opened an Excel spreadsheet, and they wrote down a list of the number of dead people. And that was it. Yes, that's exactly it. And the capitalists came in, they bought the guns from the warriors, and then shot them all. And so our learning was, in the daycare system, the intellectuals had very little policy power. They're not part of the debate, they're just statisticians. The capitalists are inventing private daycare system, and they're going to find a way to do it. And the warriors who hold the administration, they feel really threatened. But they got confused by the private sector. No, they didn't feel threatened, they thought this was an opportunity. But the opportunity backfired. There was no intellectuals to hold the space of ethics. The intellectuals abrogated their duty, here's what's right, and walked away and counted. So every time we do this with a different organization, it's always different. The first time we did it 3 years ago in Malacca, everyone sat down on the ground and they came to an agreement. And everyone agreed, and I don't know how it happened. No, they didn't know. They really didn't know. Actually, one of the deans, she did hide a gun in her. Watch out here. She hid it right there. And the other dean saw it. He said, no, you have to put the gun down. And I said, so why did it work? And he said, we agreed to agree. They were trying to do what you were trying to do. So let me conclude with Fazida, what's your quick analysis? You've seen this many times. If you were to give a prize, who would you give it to?
I think the capitalists did a good job.
chaotic. So the only way that they can, be in control is by using whatever they have.
Yeah.
Just money, of course, and it attracts everyone, almost everyone, except the dead. But again,
Good point.
but again, I think the warriors, the collective wisdom there is of course it's not there because it's supposed to be within the intellectual. But again, at the end of it, it's kind of baffling because the capitalist was the one who actually mediate, gives alternatives and propose a plan instead of the intellectuals, in which we thought, we should go the other way around. So
innovation probably in Malaysia is going to come from the private sector, is that?
Yes, that's the thing.
What could the capitalists have done where you wouldn't have killed them? Could they have done anything? So they shouldn't have gone to them, they should have gone to you. That's the big mistake. All of you went to where the power wasn't. The power is here. You're all trying to convince.
But they killed me. Even when I offered them, they shoot me first. But people discuss that.
First of all, they're not reacting. They were there, they stood there, without moving. But these people move and make noise and all that. So we should go to these people because they don't show bad example. They just stood there and ready to fire. We planned to buy their weapons.
I think that's what we already planned that to offer everybody money.
We were just talking about a strategy that failed. I'm trying to justify it.
But don't you think the workers is always in the lowest ranking? Everybody's. Don't you think like every game?
I've seen the workers win many times. Sometimes by putting barricade. One time the workers, they just sat down and said, we're going to rest, and no one knew what to do. So every group has power. And warriors, I did it with the Royal Canadian Police, and the game went on for a half hour and the warriors refused to fire. And I said, why at the end? They said, as Canadian police, our main training is mediate. Never show the gun, just put it away. So they were used to the warrior position so they could work it. So often it's when it's new to us, right? The first time I played this, I quickly did what you did. I sat back, I got people guns, I said go out and kill people. So unless it's a different type of power. And so this learning is getting used to all the types of power so we're more effective.
Isn't that also a culture?
Excuse me? Yeah, each is a culture. You heard their culture story was mercy killing. What was it? Trigger happy. It was for the greater good. The intellectuals, what did they do? Well, they just read. They read the script.
That's why at first I don't understand what it is, and after reading I said, oh, we have to do some role here. So that's how it's done. They question, oh, we try to understand your needs, let's see. And after that my colleague also telling what they can do, so that they are offering some understanding.
My experiences as intellectuals, in situations where we don't know what to do, we go towards comfort. Our comfort is PowerPoint, our book. You went towards your comfort, which is the script. Right? I do that all the time. I think we all go to comfort zone. They worked as they did, and then they said enough. I mean, if you look at it objectively, there's nothing they did so bad. I mean, really, all it is and they weren't chaotic. You have to admit that. They just said, let's go have some tea.
They didn't ask for permission.
Okay, so you see, not going to give that up.
Let's be good. But they just had their tea half an hour.
Maybe can I ask? I'm just wondering if in the universities, with all these 4 characteristics, just classification of powers, or is it classification according to like administrators, workers, the finance department? Is it according to departments, or how do you see it?
Sarkar's theory, I mean, the power gets expressed in different ways. In a university, usually the warriors are the administrators. They hold the rules. And so the tension between intellectuals and administrators is very strong. Intellectuals tend not to be so good at money. We have to learn that. And workers, you know who they are in the university. Students. Students or the clerks, typists, I mean that typist is gone. So that's why university people say students must follow the rules.
We always heard that academicians are the worst administrators because they are not trained. They are not trained to be managers, and then the appointment of being a dean or VC and whatnot is like with a turn taking, and we have not reached the maturity in terms of the skill. How to handle people, how to handle project, and how to handle chaotic situation. We are not dealing with that.
With Sarkar, you can use this model as an audit tool. Say you have a new project, right? You may say, I'm not good at money or I'm not good at administration. I have to make sure someone is good at that.
Empowerment?
Yeah, you empower others. I mean, in this example, look at Zainal. Zainal's a big picture guy. He's not here. But he makes sure Fuzzy and Bob are. They're brilliant at logistics, administration, communication. They know everything, right? They get everything out. So he's figured out, here's what I'm good at Zainal. Here's where I need help at. So he gets the two best people and he just gives it to them. So he's figured out his role, right? So it's figuring out your leadership style and your organization. What am I weak at? Making sure that's there.
I'm just wondering, this might be related to change agent, where maybe someone should approach the warriors asking for information or something.
Looking back, that would have been smart. I mean, but I don't know, every game is different. This is the first time I've seen that rule applied. But every game, something new happens.
I think one problem here that makes things become chaotic and many people get killed is because of communication. There's a flaw there in terms of communication. Maybe the military people don't understand our needs. Communication again, and then the academics again, they only think about themselves, and then communication understand us in that sense. And then the capitalists, they also don't understand us. They just simply want to throw money, and then you only need tea, not a bungalow or castle.
His point is brilliant. Everyone comes with their own story and doesn't understand customer satisfaction, the needs of the other groups. Exactly. That's brilliant.
I would agree to that, because I was thinking over here you have segregated sections of the power over there and the powerless over here. So I think the best would be, and this is my opinion, the best would be to co-create, to come to the middle, like not too high to the top, not too low to the bottom. So maybe the workers can have their say, and the warriors can just mediate without using the weapons, and then they can be very peaceful, harmony, everyone can sit down and everything. Then the intellectuals can come in peacefully, giving more alternatives, giving more solutions. Capitalists can always offer money to set up universities and how to educate the people. So at the end of it, everyone will, it's a win-win situation.
That's perfect.
Co-creation.
If that could happen, I think we have to strip the warriors of the weapons. So in that case, if in the universities we have the representative who are holding the rules, so we need to strip off the rules from their hands. So that they become powerless, then everything goes smoothly.
That's okay. So that's option one. Option two is what? What's your option? One is strip them of weapons. Two is honor their weapons.
Yes. So use it intelligently. Only in ways or needs that really need weapons, like for them to only have tea and they are weaponless. You don't have to use your guns on them without anything. they only have their hammers and their saws. And they shouldn't be shot. Like you can just talk to them and they are not a threat at all. Like they look at the police like with the guns and all. I mean the warriors guns and all. Of course, that's of higher power. Of course, they're not going to attack. And with them being shot just for something that's quite mediocre, I think is not quite fair in that sense. Like people with power should be more more considerate, and or maybe if you try to listen, they may come up with a better solution to their problems. They only need their basic needs to be addressed the most, and that's what the capitalists can give.
My friend, she did this in Taiwan a few weeks ago, and she said it was amazing. None of the groups could play any role except intellectuals. The warriors didn't know what to do. The students didn't know what to do. The captains didn't know what to do. They actually could only read and write. So it's so confusion-led, they had forgotten the other types of problems.
See, the theory X says, when in any military to be successful, we need to take care of the workers. Okay, now theory Y says, no, it's not worker, but the system. We must have SOP, ISO and whatnot, and then everybody must follow the system. Now theory XY says we need to combine both. But then we are missing the third one, the third dimension. The fourth dimension, which is the theory that which putting in the human capital development within the people. So in that case, then you can have good system, but then you don't have people to support the system. Therefore, we need to inject the values. We're looking at the spiritual, values, we're looking at the humanistic values that need to be embedded.
Sarkar, this person's on the middle. Honestly, they're keeping the system going. They're keeping all the powers rotating, and they hold that center space. You have to do all four. So you could be a warrior who learns from intellectuals and capitalists. You could be a worker who moves to that space. It could be anyone, but they figure out the needs of everyone.
If this is a metaphor of the university, is there something missing? What you say, the middle person who orchestrates everything?
This would be the value-oriented intellectual. The intellectual who understands all the perspectives and doesn't fit themselves first. They know what the university needs, what the students need, what the VC's Office of Money needs. That's the whole idea. The intellectual leads them towards purpose. This is a cycle unless it has a purpose. So that's what this whole workshop is around. What is the future of the university? You're meant to lead the university to 2030. Here's the purpose. Here's where it's going. So this person gets out of the cycle and leads them going somewhere. But these people take turns. Sometimes it's really important to have good administrators, right? Without that, you can't apply for a grant. You need purpose. You need people with money. You need people to actually do the work. So all four are needed. We just have to figure out how to balance it.